Mind me.
Hey,
Oh, that's good. That's robust.
hey, and a
That's
second
robust
one.
with your chest.
Hey, yeah, because I've been working out. Yeah.
You're working out in your Barbie shirt.
Yeah, I have, by the way, been working out, and I'm in the best shape of my life, which
Great.
is sad.
Well, look, you can only start from where you are.
Yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life, requiring putting quotes around that phrase.
Right? I'm in the best shape of my life. Asterisk see life.
That's so fucking funny and true and sad, and I'm gonna cry.
Ah, yay.
It's Alex and Jim analyze Billy Joel lyrics. What episode?
That is 9.
Yep,
No,
it's the ninth episode.
I had a stroke.
We're doing Anthony's song now.
Why?
Have we covered that yet? Uh,
I it's 106?
you nailed it.
Yeah, it was bound to happen.
That's exactly correct.
Even by accident, it was bound to happen.
Yeah. And do you remember the song?
I don't.
It's fine at this point. That's not her style.
Oh yeah, I love that song.
It's a great song. But before, let's clean up some business. David Brown passed away.
I was thinking of Greg Kinn, who also passed away.
Oh, well.
Brown.
Well, former band member of Billy
Oh,
Joel's.
guitar.
Yep.
Oh, I did not see that. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
bummer.
very recent within the last couple of days, I think. Billy Joel posted a very nice tribute to him.
Oh, good.
And then I didn't look it up. I wondered, and maybe you would know this, is he one of those guys who left acrimoniously, or is he one of those guys who's, because he's very old, who left because
Yeah,
he was like, I'm an old fella. I think this was old fella, I'm done.
I think it's that. He may also have had another band that he was involved with and was like, oh, I'm going to try this for a while
Yeah.
because there was a long, long time between Billy Joel albums.
Yes, yes, yeah.
There was another band. I'm not going to get it right, but I feel like it was called Girls with Guns that somebody from Billy Joel's band was in, and it might have been the original saxophone player, Rico.
Okay.
Richie Kanata, I think, was in Girls with Guns.
Okay.
What do you
Yeah,
think happened if I Google that? Do you think I'm right? Or I'm close?
I bet you're exactly right because you nailed the 106 thing.
I always get the band wrong because my buddy Eli, who was in the band on our show, used to be in a band called Girls Against Boys, which is a fantastic name.
Yeah.
Girls with Guns Band. Okay. Well, it's a real band.
There
That's
you
something.
yeah.
Now I do. Girls with Guns Band Richie Canal.
Yeah.
Maybe I should use AI. I've been very against it. Oh yeah, I was right. Yay.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Perfect.
So check them out when you get a chance.
Yeah. I
Girls.
will.
So I don't sorry about David Brown. I don't know what happened.
He just got old.
He
It
just got
seems
old.
like he just is an old fella and he lived a perfectly reasonable amount of time
Yep.
and had a lovely life. Like there's not, I mean, is it sad? Of course it's sad, but it's only sad in the way that life generally is a sad affair.
Right. Sad, maybe not tragic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um,
How old do you think you will be when you die? Not period, but how old would you have to be to think, oh, sad but not tragic?
um, now,
No, you're not tragic now. I think it's tragic now.
It's tragic now. I'm joking, of course. So do you mean in general or as a for people or for myself?
For your own self.
I would be all right. 75 or 80 would be fine.
Great. Yeah, I'm with you. I think back half of the 70s, I'd have to go, well, more than fair.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff and I did things and I went places and my body mostly worked. Yeah, I used to say it was a while ago. I would say tell Sue all the time, like if someone could guarantee me 68 with no medical problems, I'll take it right now. If someone could say, then I could stop worrying about it
Yeah.
for 15 years at the time when I was saying this. Now 10 years, if someone could guarantee me 73,
Yeah.
take it.
Would you remember the joke I told you about knowing exactly when I'm going to die?
I don't remember.
I love the joke. It's a really good line. And the line is, I know exactly when I'm going to die after wearing out my welcome.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought of that joke because of my dad, because I know for a fucking fact he lived longer than he wanted to.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think he thought to himself, great, great. I still am doing this. And and I'm not to say I don't think he wanted to die either. It's just it's what you're saying about living to 68 if you knew for sure locked into great health the entire time.
Yeah. Never have to worry about flying again.
Yeah.
I'd be like, great, I'm only 62. This flight's gonna land safely.
Yeah. It's my
Then
go it's my go-to observation as a joke, but even as not a joke, the idea of getting to a place where you're talking about pears and cantaloupes and soups
sure.
feels wildly unpleasant to me.
Yeah, I might think the vegetables are the least of it. I
Yeah,
think when you can't do the things you like, I
right.
think that's the true bummer. And we both of us are doing what we can to keep our bodies together.
Mhm.
Things I like to do are travel and playing golf, and like they involve having a decent back and knees,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I'll try to keep that shit together.
Yep.
I'm less worried about wrinkles and such. And I have a little bald spot, and I'm like, that's fine. You can play golf with those. People do it all the time.
Yep.
I'm just like laser focus. I told my trainer when I signed up with him a couple of years ago. He was like, "What are your goals?" And I said, "When I fall down in a restaurant when I'm 75, I want to be able to catch myself. I don't want to fall like a tree like I've seen old people do.
Yeah.
I want to like bend my knees and roll it out or be able to catch myself and not shatter everything."
Yep. Yeah.
Great. Let's do some squats.
Yeah.
Also, you're a bummer, sir.
Yeah. I'm loving the gym life, by the way. I love
Yeah. What's your setup? You're nearby?
5 minutes from my house.
Amazing. Great.
Swimming pool, hot tub, sauna, basketball court, uh,
Oh, nice.
full range of machines, and there's never like, so like if you're doing cardio, I'm never waiting for a machine because of
Oh,
those machines, I believe they have 3,000. It just seems like two.
yeah.
There are certain machines like if I'm doing the what is it called? That one. What's that called?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah,
Chest.
when I'm doing that flex, the thing that's for these muscles.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I'm your trainer, so we're going to be working out these today.
This thing on this guy.
Yeah, you know. Now let me see. How do I hook this up? Give me a second, okay? How much are you paying me? Hold on a second. Yeah.
I'll take
Um,
it out.
but we have a perfect range because you've got oldies and youngies, and
Right.
and it's not an absolute hookup place,
Nice.
but it's
But
also
you
not
could
an
hook.
yeah, but it's not an absolute also will help you with your will place. It's not that
Great.
either.
Okay.
So
Now, perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. Very
I
nice.
I like my gym a lot. The location's very nice and safe.
The best. I
Yeah.
mean, 5 minutes away is the dream.
Yeah. It is fantastic.
Mine is like a 10-minute walk, and I'm like, ugh, 5 more minutes? So far.
You get a little cardio on your way.
A little cardio on the way because it is uphill. But
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I do love it.
Do
It's
you run at your gym? Do you do the run on the treadmill? Is
I
that part of your
would say
workout?
I've been advised not to run.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Uphill walking for me on the treadmill,
Okay.
incline on it and just crank away. But mostly I just do sessions with the trainer.
Yeah. And is
Um,
it knees or ankles that why you don't run?
it's knees and it's also my neck. I have some precarious vertebrae
Oh,
controlled to avoid like impact stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex and Jim might not live long. Yeah.
Alex and Jim analyze what's the point?
Look, it's Billy Joel lyrics. What'd you expect?
Yeah.
Chapel Roan lyrics.
I had an epiphany about Billy Joel the other day that I'll share with you, and then we'll talk about lyrics. So
Great.
don't freak out, guys. I'm going to mention Billy Joel.
Few.
So I was thinking, so I went to the concert with you, and that was amazing. We went with Sue, and that was incredible. And
Was
I
not.
also saw him in LA, and that was incredible. And one of the things that I found so stunning was seeing a girl in her 20s or a boy, but in this case, it happened to be a lady in her 20s going to see Billy Joel, had purchased tickets,
Yup.
was not with an older person,
Yeah.
and was just there because she loves Billy Joel. And I was like, I don't feel like that happens with a lot of older artists. And I was trying to, and it suddenly dawned on me why. Most of the people who had fathers who really liked Billy Joel had good fathers.
Yeah, maybe probably better than average.
Yeah, because I've talked to some of them are my friends at work and I've encountered and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my dad and I haven't seen him in a while and miss my dad." And hearing them say those sentences, I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
So I feel like most of the people who's had dads who liked Billy Joel had dads who were doing their best at being dads.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So they built lovely memories, not resentful ones.
Yep.
Most of the dads who were into the coolest music and the most interesting art were dicks.
Yeah, it takes a disproportionate amount of your attention to be into the coolest shit all the time.
Yep.
And also, it's often you not because you actually like that music, but because you think the girls might like it. And it's manipulation to some degree.
Yep.
Like I don't think if your dad was super into White Snake or Warrant, that you as a 20-year-old girl now are like, oh yeah, I should go see White Snake. My dad always liked them,
Yeah.
or he was.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think if your dad liked Billy Joel, your dad also liked taking you to soccer practice.
Yeah, he's probably a generally okay dude.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't, sound off in the comments.
Yeah. And tell us details. No, don't do that.
No, no, dude. Don't listen to him. Tell us the most awful thing about your Billy Joel loving dads.
Yeah. You go, well, let me tell you what he did on this one summer night. Yeah.
Ew. Why does it have to be summer?
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking anything specific, but you're right. The fact that I said summer,
Yeah, made it horny.
maybe, Oh, so very sad. Well, that is not her style. So what would you say? How would you describe the music itself?
Um, the Rolling Stones.
Yep.
I would say this is a pretty unashamed attempt to sound like the Rolling Stones and for him to sound like Mick Jagger as much as possible.
Yeah, agreed.
Not
And
the first time,
not definitely not. And not bad.
and not bad. Would be a
Fine.
great little Rolling Stones song. I hope they do it. I'll bet they don't.
Better do it quick.
Hurry up, you guys. Um, yeah. And that struck me odd because speaking of old dads and stuff, they usually like either the Beatles or the Stones. And it seems like Billy Joel liked both of them a lot.
Yeah.
And he's definitely done a lot of Beatles impressions over the years and a lot of Rolling Stones impressions.
I'll share with you one of my favorite musical observations about that.
Yeah.
So there are guys who like the Beatles and there's guys who like the Stones. If you're a musician, like he
Yeah.
is, you tend to rise above all that tribalism and you tend to also like country and you just like music, particularly if you're not just a rock star, but you're additionally foundationally a musician.
Yeah.
The thing that made me realize that was listening to drummers talk about Ringo,
Ah,
because everybody in the world, in my recollection growing up, had a joke about Ringo.
sure.
And but actual drummers like Dave Grohl, for example, or just any drummer was like, and they would cite specific songs and say, you did this weird thing where you would have expected the snare here, and you realized, was Ringo doing innovative stuff and I was too dumb to know?
Yeah, very good chance.
And the answer is yes, because I'm not a drummer.
Right.
So it makes sense. I'm sure he fell in love with the Beatles first because, well, you'd have to because they were
Yeah,
first.
chronologically, you would have to.
Yeah. But
Um,
here he was a musician.
yeah. And they both were basically ripping off R&B and blues and soul, which he loved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody who was, so really he was like, I'll do that too. And while I'm
Yeah.
ripping off the blues, I'll rip off the Stones and the Beatles.
Yep. And periodically I will lift a whole segment from a classical song, and I can even say so because that guy's dead.
That guy's dead. And then I'll make friends with Sting, and then I'll sound like him.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
I respect it. It's not like he's certainly not with this song. I don't think he would ever go, no, this isn't the Stones. This is my thing. I think he would go like, I wanted to write a Stones song, so I did.
Yep. And Billy Joel is one of the few artists I know who does that shit and then has many times talked about cribbing other people.
Totally. The thing that probably most musicians do, almost all, and most won't admit, or
Dave,
they'll excuse it in some way. And he's just like, no, I like doing that.
yeah, Dave
Sorry.
Grohl, when somebody was called him a great drummer, he goes, I'm not actually a great drummer. Listen to those Nirvana albums again and just picture the Gap band because I'm just stealing drum from the Gap Band and other disco. And you're like, oh, that's interesting because, of course, you just recontextualized the drum into not a disco song.
Hilarious.
Uh,
Hilarious that of all the things that he was stealing from, it was disco,
yeah.
the most hated musical genre of all grunge heads.
And to my point, he's a musician, so he didn't hate that because he's like, music is music.
Yeah, works for me.
Like I had noticed this in early rock and roll, how much early rock and roll, if you listen to the drum, it sounds like army drumming.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so much time, so much of the time you're like, I think that's just something they'd wake you up with.
Yeah. And probably where this guy learned it.
I'm sure of it. Yeah. And that's fascinating to realize you're in this rebellious context and you're like, yeah, but it's all costumes.
Yeah, it's true.
It's funny how much we didn't go, David Bowie's wearing a costume. You're like,
No,
no, he's crazy. No, he's not. He's an entertainer.
he knows. Elton John knows.
They know what they're doing. And it's important that it's like when you go see a magic show. It's important as the audience to pretend you don't know,
Right. But yeah, you got to know they know.
you know.
Otherwise, people would like pass out, shriek,
Yeah.
water.
Did you see the Elvis movie with Tom Hanks?
I did not. I did
There's a
not carve out time for it.
there's a really good scene where Colonel Tom Parker's just watching Elvis and sees the first time the girls lose their mind.
Yeah.
And it's done really well that they really emphasize because I do actually think this is true. A lot of teenage girls and young ladies were like, oh, all right, sex is a thing, and lost their minds.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit was buried pretty deep.
It's pretty beautiful. All right, let's talk some lyrics. Why don't I start? I think shape wise, it's friendly as far as what we do. So I'll read a thing and the chorus, then you read a thing and the chorus.
Great.
So we're not stuck reading choruses.
Yeah, yeah. Good call.
Some people think that she's one of those mink coated ladies. The way they say she wakes up at 1. I like that line. They say she
Great.
wakes up at 1. I like that it's not noon.
Yes, agree.
Because noon is sleeping in. 1 is, oh, why'd you even bother to get up?
Yep. One is a different lifestyle entirely.
Yeah. It's like the Gary Goldman joke. He looked at the clock, he looked and realized I slept through an entire o'clock.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Fantastic.
And she makes the paparazzi run till dawn. She wines and dines with Argentines and Kuwaitis after she ships margaritas on the White House lawn. I don't think they let you do that anymore.
Yeah, this is a different time, I guess.
Yeah, not after all that's, not after, I mean, got terrorist attacks and stuff. You're not having margaritas on the White House lawn. You're just not. That's not her style, I can tell you. That ain't my woman. Just not her style, I can tell you, because I'm her man. I like that we've got a song where he doesn't seem to be criticizing her.
Yeah, quite the opposite. Defending her against accusations.
And he's not over romanticizing her either, because we've got that too. She's not what you think, but he kind of is making her out to be a real human being.
Right. And so this is about Christy Brinkley, yeah?
I think so.
I think so. She's just a nice lady.
Yeah.
She's not all the things that you guys say. I also love the word Kuwaitis in a song. I can't think of another example, but god damn it. The way he
Yeah.
sings the word Kuwaitis is, if that's not Mick Jagger,
Yeah.
nothing is.
It's
So,
tremendous. It's a nice marriage of lyric and song too. Music and lyric are pretty spot on here.
yes, it's really beautifully done. And it does feel like the thesis is something he really wanted to get right and get out there, and probably worked harder on this song than most,
Yeah,
I would guess. And it paid off. And it is just a good rock and roll song.
it is. And what a strange, why wasn't it a single? Because this is a great little song.
Yeah. And it was in a movie soundtrack, right? It was Ruthless People.
Oh, dude, you're right.
I
Yeah.
think yeah, I think this and maybe two other songs from the album
Oh,
are
yes.
all in that soundtrack. Decent movie.
Ruthless People is a fun movie. That's the Bette Midler is not in great shape at the beginning, right? That's that.
Right, right. Yeah, there's a workout montage.
Yeah.
You recall maybe to this song?
Yeah. And her husband is, it's a really fun plot because her husband is planning, he considers it fortuitous that she's been kidnapped.
Yes, that's right.
And he's like, oh, this is great. They will kill her. That'll be their fault. Great.
Ruthless.
He's a ruthless person
Ruthless.
amongst other people.
The papers say she was seen in LA with a stranger. That one feels like real,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She found the perfect body with a Maserati right outside. And then she chartered a Lear when she heard her career was in danger and gave the pilot something extra for a perfect ride. They said she's a slut.
Yeah. They said she's dirty.
Said she's dirty. But that's not her style, I can tell you. That ain't my woman. It's just not her style. He's very insistent. I can tell you because I'm her man. And then those words again.
Those words again. It
Uh,
would have been great if he said the papers say she was seen in LA with the stranger.
oh.
And then he put on the hat.
Wink. The whole time.
Yeah, she found a perfect body with Maserati right outside. Wow. That and that's funny because that lyric, I think it's all what you said that it's probably real.
Yeah, of all
And
the things that she's being accused of in this song, like that one probably did happen.
yeah. And that
I
one bugged him.
yeah, my little theory is that that was originally the first verse, and then he was like, "Oh, I gotta bury that a little bit."
Yeah.
Coming out of the gate real strong. Paper said she was fucking somebody. One, two, three, four. The paper said she's not a slut.
Yeah.
Let's do something a little more graceful up top first.
Yeah. She's not a slut. Original working title.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the thesis.
Yeah.
I did like that she chartered a Lear, and then like when she heard her career was in danger, and then still fucked the pilot.
Yep.
They really made her into a cartoon. 90s? Is this 90s? Yeah, late
90s
80s.
now. I
Uh,
wonder how much. So I wonder how much it did hurt the marriage because I think it probably did. That
sure.
her career kind of is predicated on us seeing pictures of her and thinking, I would like to have sex with her. And
Sure.
that tends to get undermined because of the way men think when she becomes a wife and a mom.
Yes. Then there's a lot of rage from the
Yeah.
people who wanted to fuck her.
Yeah. Or they do the Elvis thing. You know, the Elvis thing, which I don't know why I'm calling it the Elvis thing, but what he did with Priscilla Presley was she said in her book, and it was I fairly common knowledge that once she became the mother of his child, he had trouble seeing her as a sexual object.
Yeah. Right. Because
Which
by then
is
she was like 19.
right, yeah.
It's over the hill,
There's
baby.
an old lady, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah. It's
very
that thing we have all done as when we were dumb young dudes, where the celebrity lady that we think is hot gets married, and you go, "Oh, like something has changed in your life."
yeah, like before. Yeah, true.
Oh, you had a chance. Now I can't jerk off to her. Hey,
Uh,
sure you can.
yeah, I
Only
believe
person
you.
you might find out is your mom. You're fine.
Not that she's never done something crazy or done something wild. It's just that she's better at doing whatever suits her style, and that's not her style. I like that.
Yeah, leave the door open a little bit.
And it paints her again as an autonomous person. It's not Hey, she's done wild stuff, but now I'm telling her not to. It's not that.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
I like that lyric a lot.
Yeah, just not her style, man. It's just not who she is.
And by the way, I believe that Christy Brinkley seemed like a person who at some point was like very business focused on being a model, had it kind of in hand.
For sure. It was like, oh, I don't need to like do cocaine and stay out all night. She probably did
I'm sure.
a couple of years and was like, oh, this is not serving me. Or very likely she's just incredibly beautiful, but a normal person.
Right. Right. Had a reasonable balanced, not, had dumb things happen to her, had awful things happen, but not as much as can.
Right. And maybe she probably had a good dad who listened to Billy Joel.
And that's why she liked him. Yeah. I was like, I
Joe.
can't believe my dad listens to Billy Joe.
Oh, best.
Um, why don't you read the second half? Because the last is chorus.
Okay. I've read where it said that she sleeps in a bed made of satin. I like the rhyming.
I do. And suddenly, but it suddenly bothers me, and not a lot, but you don't make a bed of satin.
No. Yeah, no. Only parts of it would be satin.
Really, a small percentage of the parts are satin too.
You really should have wood or iron.
Yeah.
She's had her face done in every place you can try. They say, I like this. They say she gets a piece of every lease in Manhattan. Very funny.
Yeah.
It's like not so much a model thing as like an old mobster
Yeah.
move. And says she's 30 when she's really pushing 45, which
That's
is great.
that's valid.
It's valid. I don't know how old she was when they got together. I think somewhere between 30 and 45.
Yeah. I know she's still pretty now.
Hell yeah. Yup. That's not her style, I can tell you. That ain't my woman. It's great also because it does, even the thesis feels like a Stones style thesis. Or like, hey, you dicks, this lady's actually great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell you that because I'm dating her.
Yeah. And so much of it I like. I like that at no point does he put her in his own made up box. He's just
No,
like, I like this lady. You don't get her. And he's written that before. He wrote that as a very young man, but he writes it
yeah,
better here because she's always
yeah.
a woman to me is great, but and a hit. And this isn't.
But she's always a woman is like a little ponderous and like joyless. This is funny.
Yep.
This is cool and funny, and you can tell he's in a better mood
Yep.
about women in general and probably life in general. But I like that it's also a little bit not glib, but just light.
Yeah,
It's
and maybe glib light is great. She's always a woman, does the she's on a pedestal kind of thing.
yeah,
That's not intentionally sexist. It's just the nature of being a dude sometimes that when you're not paying attention, you can just kind of be sexist.
yep,
And
yep,
this isn't. There's nothing sexist about this. This nice lady is just Jane,
yep,
what you think she is, she's great.
yeah. It's just not her style.
Yeah, I dig it. I'm gonna put it
Yeah,
back.
nothing about like his style or what he wants from her.
Oh yeah, he's not telling her to
Like,
do stuff.
it's like all I can do is report on this, and the reason I'm qualified is because I'm her man. That's as deep as it goes,
It does jump out at you that he's not telling her what she should do.
right? Yeah, that's how you know he really was in love with her.
And they're still friends. I say it every time the subject comes up because I find it amazing. I'm very happy for them
That's fantastic.
that
Uh,
he,
yeah, it is a. It's more. It has more in common with just the way you are. I think.
Yeah.
She's always a woman who's like, look, you're great. She's great. Just like that. I got no notes.
Yeah.
Another original title. No notes.
Yeah.
Hot babe, no notes.
Hot babe, no notes. I like that. Yeah, that I like the song very much. It's definitely on
It's
my
really
my regular when I listen to Billy Joel, which is a lot.
yeah. And do you dance around Mick Jagger style?
When I'm alone and if there's enough people that it's annoying.
So less than one person or more than nine.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
I don't know how many animal owners do this. I occasionally like to dance for the animals to see what the hell they'll react.
Oh yeah, yeah. And or hold their little paws and
Oh,
make them dance.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will tell you how my animals will react. Perplexed.
Yeah. Not frightened. Just watching so carefully.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, that's what I've often gotten that. Like, I'm gonna keep an eye on you, but I'm not gonna leave. But they
Yeah,
will not look away.
it's at least a little judgy. They're at least a little judgy.
Well, I've mostly had cats. So
Oh, it's all judgment. Yeah.
we're going tomorrow to an adoption event to look for a doggy.
Mazel.
Thank you very much. It's quite a process. You really have to prove that you're capable and have money and stuff of a solid home for them, which is nice, as it should be.
Yeah.
But I was surprised because, I remember being a kid and all you did was go to Kmart and there'd be somebody out front of Kmart with a box of puppies just
Yeah.
away. But those days are gone.
They're not entirely gone and they should be, but yeah.
They should be. Yeah, we've gotten ourselves in a couple of jams that way back
Yeah.
in the day.
Are you bigger dog? What do you want?
Think a mid-size, a nice like 25, 30 pound. Now, we also want to get a puppy, so some part of that will be unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly mutts.
Yeah.
If it's pure breeds, you can guess how big they'll be. And with mutts, you're like, well, there's a range.
Yeah.
But it's this our first time going to an event and looking. So I'm like, we'll see what we
Yeah.
see what kind of information we can get, and we'll probably get one.
I'm
It
sure
might
you
be
will. I'm sure it's really hard not to because
really hard not.
you've already said you're open to it. And what'll
Yeah,
happen is those dogs are just deeply loving, kind creatures. So
yeah, they're real fucking cute too.
yeah, if you end up, I would be
But we're
so
pretty.
happy with if you end up with a Goldie or a German Shepherd, I'd be so happy for you because I bet you'd love that.
Thank you. I don't want a German Shepherd just because we have a lot of black neighbors, and I feel like it's a police dog. I feel like it makes people uncomfortable to see a German Shepherd.
Oh, they're so smart and loving. But I
Great
get it.
doggies, but then they get the hip problems. Anyway,
Yep.
we'll see what we see.
Yep.
I would love one where I can't tell what it's supposed to be. Just like a full mutt.
Then here's what I hope. I hope you get the cutest puppy and then it grows up and it's George Burns and you're like, I didn't expect that.
Wow. All right.
And it's not George Burns until it's fully grown. So the whole time you're like, it's looking less like a dog, Sue. Dude,
See how it's got part of a tuxedo
that's yeah.
and one more. Oh fuck.
You're like, did did you buy cigars? We don't really smoke cigars. Why are there suddenly cigars here?
Get one. Oh boy. We're in for it now.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go take George Burns for a walk.
Taking George Burns to the dog park. I
I
guess he
gotta
goes in the big dog park.
I gotta pee. I need to get outside. I gotta pee. I need very communicative.
Like this is very handy. I'll never have Accident.
And if not, just a cute dog, that'd be okay too. If
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
if it's not George Burns.
Okay, thanks, man. Your two wishes for me.
All right, so
Oh boy. That's a line for the bathroom.
it sure is.
For maybe the men's room.
Sure.
The other one's out of order.
A lot of people are going to the bathroom at there's some event and it's time to go to the bathroom.
In the middle of the night.
That's right.
Yeah, I do love it.
Right?
Fantastic.
Made me laugh when I thought of it. And then I was like, that's great. There's no way he's not going to get it.
The only way I almost didn't get it is I couldn't remember the name of that fucking stupid song. Oh, that's great.
See, this is the moment Sue and I are having a very good time at the concert.
Yeah, there's you can see the tall guy in the middle. That's me.
Yep.
I'm like, oh fuck, it's still going. Got plenty of time.
No, I didn't notice this before. Is that guy in the white shirt waiting for a buddy? Why is he just standing there?
Might just be coming out.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. And is that LL Cool J?
It could be. Yeah, those are the people that went in during Vienna. I don't care for them.
Yeah, those guys are dicks.
They're like, oh, we got to get back for in the middle of the night.
Oh, this made me laugh so hard. By the way, the birds keep flying behind you.
Yes.
And because this is a computer, I keep thinking it's my cursor. And I go, wait, what did I? Nope.
I've done that more than once. Look at that. Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, baby.
Brooklyn, baby. Who's at the door? Oh, is that guy still in a car? Okay. Oh, I didn't tell you the very sad, weird story, did I?
No.
Where Sue and I were sitting on the couch in there. That way. We hear a gunshot. And we're like, oh, should we go look and see what happened? And like, let's give it a minute, make sure there's not another volley.
Yeah.
And that wasn't. So I came out and I looked over the balcony here, and a man had shot himself in the head,
Oh,
like 20 feet from the front of our building.
wow.
Later, we like went down to talk to the cops and all that because they wanted our front door cam footage to see if there was anything of note. He
Yeah.
apparently arguing with his girlfriend, walking past our building. You could see on the camera her walking in front of him walking behind, gesturing wildly. And as soon as they're out of frame, gunshot. Which is insane. I've never heard of anyone mid-argument
Yeah.
pulling out a gun. It was wild. That's not a good note to end on.
Whew.
And the trivia question, what was his name? No.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, right. The real world infringes on your little Disney ideas pretty frequently.
To his credit, and I'm not going to make a joke because I don't want to at that, but to his credit, as much as I wish you wouldn't have done that, and what an intrusion on your life, that's not fair, because certainly Alex and Sue don't deserve to have seen that either, that you did nothing wrong. But I will say that the only thing I'll say to his credit is that within the moment he thought of taking his own life, he didn't first shoot her.
Yes.
He didn't shoot anybody else.
Yeah.
So that at the very least, the sad end of his life can be tragic, but we don't have to hate him.
Yes. He maintained I guess I can't say dignity, but he maintained his status as the object of our sympathy.
Yeah. And I sort of say dignity, okay. In a way, he maintained his. So I have a very complicated relationship with suicide because I've just known so many people, unfortunately,
Sure.
starting with my brother and blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't mean to blah blah blah, but I just that's not what the show's about. But and yet sometimes it is.
I mean, who's
Yeah.
to say what the show's about?
Yeah.
I mean, just it just reminded me so vividly when I looked over the edge. And I was like, oh, I have to impart that.
Well,
I
I'm
don't know.
sorry that both of you had to have that.
Well, we thought about all of that, and we're like, it was really like 100 people who had that
Yeah.
in their evening and in their week. Um, yeah, it was weird the number, because full stranger, and yet you go through a lot of stages with it and trying to imagine the we saw the 30 seconds before it happened, but of course you're imagining the years
Yeah.
before it happened and how you get there.
Yeah.
You can drive yourself crazy trying to get in the seat where
Yeah.
he was.
And isn't it weird? Because one of the things you do is you have to figure out, you just can't help but think to yourself, oh, am I feeling sad enough about this? Because you want to,
Right. I want to
because
give it what it deserves.
you might not even feel sad at all because you didn't know the person.
Right.
And that's not inappropriate. If you don't feel anything for the general humanity of it, you're not wrong for that. That's just who you are, and that's okay.
One way to, yeah, it's one way it comes down. But it's crazy what you do feel.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't know the guy existed until I saw him dead. So I'm like, that's a weird place to be in too.
Yeah.
And it certainly never would have given him another thought if he hadn't killed himself.
Yeah.
It's very, yeah, it's weird. You do go through a bunch of stages, and ultimately you just come down and like, I feel terrible for someone who felt that he had to do that.
Yeah.
And I hope fewer and fewer people feel that need.
Well, and obviously the biggest truth of it is that the we are afforded an immediate point of action in this country that you don't have in other countries.
Yes.
Our suicide rate isn't high because we're sadder.
No,
It's higher because we can get it done.
a very effective method. Yeah, the fact that he was walking down the street arguing with his girlfriend with a gun in his pocket
Yeah.
is telling. And also, as we were saying afterwards, like, how many people do you think we walk past every day who are just have a gun on them?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think she was probably surprised because she probably just thought he was glad to see her. Listen, I know that's a dumb old joke, but eventually I have to say something.
Yes. Say the answer to this trivia question if you think you can.
I will try.
Billy Joel has a half brother.
Yes.
Know about this? What is his name and occupation?
Okay. Billy Joel has a half brother. What is his name and occupation?
Yeah, so you would probably think about how he came up with a half brother.
Yeah. So more than likely, child of dad. So I'm going to say also a piano player is my guess.
Correct.
Okay, great. And his name is um, Alex Joe.
Alexander Joel,
Really?
apparently pretty famous concert pianist.
Alexander Joel. Great. Oh, well, for a second I thought it was his middle name for some. I'm Christy Brinkley.
You did it.
Alexander Joel. That's great.
Isn't that great? I just learned that today.
That's a wonderful bit of trivia. The first part, I got a solid guess. I did get a clue because I am familiar with pointing.
Yes, that's true. I forgot how good you are at pointing.
I'm so good at it, man.
It comes in handy. Oh yeah, look at that.
Now you know what? I'm pointing at the guy behind me, LL Cool J.
The guy
Hey,
who hates the Vienna hater.
that's right. Who works out a little bit, but not a lot. He's got pretty decent pecs, but he's not huge.
He's wearing the shirt and he's like, I'm not gonna wait.
Yeah.
No time like the present.
Oh, dude, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I laughed out loud because I was like, "Ah, I got muscles because
Great.
I've been trying and it's very funny. I'm like, oh, it's working.
Yeah. Isn't it funny when you make a little progress and you're like, oh, that's all I had to do was work out all those years when I wanted muscles and they didn't arrive?
They didn't just, I couldn't figure out where to order them.
Like, yeah. Yeah, you just have to go do some stuff and it works every time.
Yep. And you just have to do, it's like a lot of things, you have to do them more than once.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can pull together some consistency, it's amazing what you can achieve.
I mentioned to Paul that I'm working out and he said, "Are you still going to the gym in jeans?" And it was a very funny memory of back when we lived together in North Hollywood, and we were going to the gym for whatever reason. I was like, "I'll go," and I'm wearing my jeans, my
Uh,
workout gear. I'm like, believe it or not, I bought some shorts.
you're in all the way.
I think one time I went to the gym in black dress shoes too,
Amazing.
because my entire life is a bit. What song would you like to do?
Didn't I pick this one?
No.
I thought I did. Well, then I don't know. Tell me about the list.
Okay.
Okay, I know. I could at least find the list.
Let's go back. Yeah, no, I picked this one and
It's
I mean,
very
I'm
funny. It's very funny to look at old emails from you because they're very similar.
a
Ah, how is Thursday is your most common email title.
yeah. It's the name of my first album.
How is Thursday? Still moving? I am sick. How is Friday? Ah, I'm an asshole. I can't find the list.
That's okay. Let's do this. Let's look at his list. Why don't you pick a song you don't think we did?
I don't think we did pressure. Did we do pressure?
I honestly wouldn't mind doing Pressure again if you want to. I fucking love that song.
Great.
I honestly do not mind at all because that's turned into my favorite Billy Joel song, and it's traditionally my favorite Billy Joel song, of course, is Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Right.
But I think Pressure is right now my favorite Billy Joel song.
Amazing.
And I think it's because I'm in my 50s
It's a very good chance. Yeah, you're relating to a lot of the material.
and I'm still running, and you're still like, oh, I still got to do stuff. When does this end?
Right? It's more and more shit.
Without getting into details, when I was in New York with at your lovely home, and that same week we were having a great time, you were dealing with work stuff.
Yeah, man.
Nothing bad, but just the stuff that comes along with being employed.
Just comes. Yeah. Today I don't work Fridays, and this is like the fourth thing I've had to do, and I got another thing later. I went to therapy this morning, then I went to the gym, then I had to go to the dermatologist, then I had to stop by the pharmacy to get the stuff the dermatologist told me to get. And then I was like, what time is it? Oh, fuck, I gotta talk to Jim. It doesn't stop.
How
Even the
long
fun
is your how long
counts.
is your gym session? How long do you go?
It's 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's, the first 35 minutes, I'm like, oh man, I'm in such good shape. This is so easy. And then the last 20 minutes, he murders me. He's very good at building to something horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what did I do the other day? I ran 5 miles. That's what I did.
Look at you.
Because I
Yeah.
just was gonna I was just like, all right, let's see if I can do another mile.
Great.
And I was destroyed. Destroyed.
Yeah. Good for you though.
Yeah. Good for us both.